sTrax. We are in the building. Wanted to start off by saying Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays to anybody who celebrates. And if you don't, I hope that you're staying warm out there and overall just having an awesome day. So this video is actually one that was requested. I put out a poll in my community tab that pretty much asked you guys what would you like us to talk about. So the top one was places to stay in the car. So let's see if we can get somebody hopping in. I know it's a holiday and a lot of people are busy, but hopefully we can join in with us, hop in the chat and talk to us, and of course, hit the like button and all that good stuff. But in the meantime, why don't you show us your Airbnb? Me and Kia are both in an Airbnb right now, so she's gonna do a little short Airbnb tour for y'all. Let's see where she's.
House tiny tour. I don't even think I have to walk around much because it's that tiny. I can probably spin in a circle and give a full tour. So let me flip this around for you guys. Okay, so this is the front door to the tiny home. And then it's got that over here, a heater, some of my stuff over there. This is like a living room, I guess, area. Then it has the sink. The wine did not come with the place. Then it's got this little kitchen area. This is a fridge. It's got all my stuff in it. And then the bathroom. No, this is like a tiny house shed. I'll pop outside so you guys can see. I can turn the porch light on.
The setup of an RV, but yeah, you can do that.
Yeah. The lights on. Hold on.
Got Leslie.
You can see the outside, but I'll go down here.
Me and Kia are gonna be live streaming some tips, but
it's a little shed house.
Oh, it's really cute,
right? And then you go up this. Got this little seating area.
Has a little patio.
And then
cooking in there.
It's like just enough space.
Have you been cooking in there?
Not so much. I was going to cook in here. It's set up so that you can cook in here, like in these cabinets. There's a microwave and there's some cooking appliances in there. But I went shopping for food yesterday and forgot my chicken on the bag wheel.
Yeah. Oh.
Forgot my chicken there. 30 minutes before closing. Got all the way to the Airbnb and was like, how did I get gravy? I got the gravy this time, but did not get chicken. So thank God.
Right, who is it? Me, myself, and my what was it? My van or whatever was saying.
Myself, yeah.
Yeah. He's so funny. Well, I figure I'll give you guys just like.
Let's see yours.
But behind me, I don't know if I want to show the whole Airbnb, but like, I want to see if I can show y'all like the ocean, because the ocean is literally behind me on this patio. So let me see what I can do. Hold on, y'all.
Let's see.
Let me see what I can do. So this is like the patio. That's where I'm sitting. I'm like in the room.
Oh.
See my cat over there?
Yes.
They have like an extra bed area. We got like a kitchen, a hallway going down that way to the bedroom. But I wanted to kind of see if I could show you guys outside. I don't know if it's too dark, but I'm by the ocean. So you can kind of see. You can see the waves a little bit.
Yeah, you can see the beach, right? Oh my gosh. That is beautiful. And you have the beach front view.
And I'm on the 15th floor. I am terrified of heights, y'all. So I'm like really high up here.
It's beautiful there. Is this like a condo or an apartment?
It's like, hold on. Let me flip back. It's basically like a resort, like a beach resort. So it kind of reminds you of like condos, but I think during this time of year, they have probably way less people renting these locations because it's freezing cold, you know?
Yeah.
So they have like a lot of good deals, especially for people trying to go to a resort during this time of year. But yeah, they have the indoor pools, outdoor pools, they have heated pools, jacuzzis, they have like a gym, a restaurant, all on the property. But the main thing is that it's a holiday. So some of those amenities and services are not going to be available, but you can
Yeah.
still take advantage of the awesome beach views and having a nice room for very cheap because a lot of people are renting their condos or these resorts out on Airbnb. So yeah, I
Air,
found this on Airbnb.
Airbnb win.
So yeah, for everybody watching, that's what we're doing right now for Christmas. You're still in? Are you in Georgia?
I'm still in Georgia. Yeah, this place that I'm in is actually like a horse ranch.
Mhm.
So they've got stables all over the property, and all of the properties on this street have horse stables. So I was able to see some horses today. And if you want, I mean, she said that you can go and like pet her horses and walk around the stables and feed them and stuff. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing all of that because I'm like, oh, it's a holiday. I don't want to bother her. But
Mhm.
yeah, maybe when it's not the holiday, I would definitely come back here. And the room was really cheap, like $50 a night,
That's
$8
like
fee.
usually during holiday time, I'm gonna have to pay a lot. I'm like, I got really good prices for this.
Yes, yes.
Trying to go swimming in the beach for Christmas, but I like earlier today when the sun was out, I went out on the patio and looked, and you saw families out there taking pictures, taking like holiday pictures. So you do have that group of people who do come to these type of locations when it gets cold. We
Yep.
were from like Pennsylvania, so they were like, it's like 4 degrees there, and I was like,
Oh,
this is
oh,
all right, well, let's look at this chat really quick and then we can go ahead and jump in on our list because I'm sure whoever is joining us wants to hear about those places to park. Yeah, we have Leslie Hill in there showing some love. Carlos, I love you too. Timothy, John, oh yeah, T to the reels up in here. What's up, love? What's up,
oh.
Kristen? I think that's who we got right now.
Yeah, Leslie said it's painfully cold here in Michigan. I can imagine. The further north you go, the colder it seems like it is.
And it's probably like a lot of snow on the road, so it's probably not that easy driving and moving around too much.
Yeah.
For those of you guys who follow my channel, you'll know that me and Key did spend Thanksgiving together, and we got an Airbnb together. So we tried to live stream there. It was a lot of technical difficulties, but after about 4 hours, we ended up being able to pull it off. Really excited for us to do this live stream. We're in two completely different locations. She's in Georgia. I'm in South Carolina. And it seems like the stream is going pretty well. This is some of the best signal I've ever had. So, no, I might need to move to South Carolina.
Shout out to the areas.
But yeah, so let's get right into it. We're talking about our top 10 list of safe and peaceful places to sleep when you live in a car. Um, I have to pull up my list because we talked about this earlier.
I think the first one I have is rest areas, like truck stops and things like that.
Okay, so the first place that's on the list, like Key mentioned, is rest areas and truck stops. And I'll hop into that one because the second one she has a little bit more information on than me. But yeah, so number one, um, rest areas and truck stops. If you are on the road, if you're traveling, especially if you're on the highway, you're going to come across a lot of rest areas. You definitely want to take advantage of those locations because they're like literally meant for car dwellers. Like they're meant for you to park there. They know that you're traveling and you need to rest. Or you're going to be in your vehicle. Oftentimes they'll have bathrooms, vending machines, water, what do you call them, water fountains.
Yeah.
They'll have all of those like amenities that you need to kind of like get you back energized to get on the road. Even some might have showers. I haven't came across any that have showers, but I'm sure there's some out there. And the same for truck stops. Oftentimes these can kind of be like gas station looking areas, but they're along, routes that you travel, and they're kind of built a little bit more to hold more vehicles and for people who are resting. And those areas actually often have showers. I've heard that you can rent at truck stops like showers for like 10 or $15 or something like that. I would definitely still be very careful no matter where you are car camping. But I would say that if it is a rest stop, that would be more so like my go-to because typically they even have like a security guard or somebody there throughout the night. So these are all things that are going to be things that you want to take into consideration. And last but not least on that one, and I'll let Key add whatever she wants to add to this point, is that I think truck stop and rest stops are really good if you have pets. Especially if you have dogs, because a lot of times they will have areas with like dog doo bags and like like whatever, they'll have like a grass area where you can relieve your pet and get them out of the vehicle. So yeah, that's my number one. Rest areas, truck stops. Key, what do you want to add?
Yeah, I would just say with the rest areas, I would tend to go towards the one where it has more people. I know it probably sounds like, oh no, why would you want to be around so many people? But if something goes wrong, you want more people around when something happens. And I feel like when there's more people around, I feel safer than when it's just kind of me alone in my car and I haven't seen another car in like an hour or so and there's nobody else in the parking lot. You tend to stick out too. So with those rest areas, definitely go to the ones that you see even if you see vans or RVs or other people in like bigger vehicles parked, feel free to park there and you're probably going to be a lot safer in areas like that.
And I think that goes into like the whole like stealth camping idea, is that in order for you to be stealthy, you have to be around other people. You can't be stealthy and you're in the middle of nowhere yourself, because then there's no point. So if you can just kind of blend into everybody else, I think that's like the best way to go. So I 100% agree on that one. I'm trying to open up my chat really quick and make sure I'm not missing anybody. We got Tampa Barbecue Queens in the building. What's up?
Hey, hey.
Barry Garrett says, I'm in Philadelphia. It's cold here, 5 degrees. That's like the
That's
second I heard that today. Like, crazy.
yes.
Hope you stay safe and wear like 3 or 4 pairs of socks.
Yep.
What's up, R&T Specialized? Kareem Henderson says, I think it's so dope what you all are doing. Thank you so much. We appreciate the support. And with that, I want to get into our number two tip.
Yeah, so the second one is going to be those park and ride places. So these are the places where people are hopping on trains or buses or some type of public transportation. Sometimes in like the middle of the highway, they'll have a big parking lot. It's lit, but it usually will have like some type of bus stop where some like a bus will come and take people wherever they're going, but people are parking their cars there and they're parking their cars overnight. I don't think many of them are like manned by people that are like checking windows with flashlights or anything like that. So you might be able to slide in there, especially if it's just 1 or 2 nights, be able to get some rest for the night and head out the next day and probably not be noticed or seen because you could be a traveler, you could be on the plane, you could be
Hmm.
where. So I would definitely recommend those park and rides as a place that you should definitely put on the list of places to sleep. What about you?
Yeah, I think that goes into also parking at like well, for Georgia it would be like a MARTA station, but for anywhere that you are, kind of like a transit station, public transportation. A lot of times, especially if it's a train system, they will have some type of parking lot or deck that you can park in. So overnight lots, I would say, especially if you live in Georgia, check out MARTA lots near you, because they may have somewhere that you can park there. Some of them are free, some of them you may have to pay, but at the end of the day, like, you're allowed to park there and they're expecting people to park there, so no one's really going to give you a hard time about parking there.
For sure, for sure. People want us to go over. People are just joining. They want us to say like the first couple that we said already. So the first one we said was rest areas, like truck stops, places where you can park overnight. Rest areas. They're mostly on the highway. And then the next thing we said was park and rides. And now we're gonna go into the third one. Anybody say anything in the chat?
Someone R&T Specialized said, "Have y'all discussed truck stops yet?" Yeah, that was like the first one that we discussed. Let me see. I think that's pretty much it. So, Tampa Barbecue Queen says, "Do y'all use the Green Book? Are you familiar with that?" I don't know what that is. I know what Blue Book is, like
Yeah.
Kelly.
I've not used the green book. I don't know what that is.
Hopefully, they'll let us know what it
You
is.
know what that is the green book?
Let me see. Let's go to number three. So, number one, the rest areas, truck stops. Number two was park and ride or overnight lots. Number three is going to be 24-hour establishments, and this can include gyms, Walmarts, casinos, different locations that have large parking lots that are open 24 hours. Because when you park there, they're not going to bother you about being parked there. So, I think that is one of the main go-tos, especially for people who are living like within cities or who may not be like on the highway or like near like a truck stop or a park and ride. If you can get to like a local Walmart or if you have a gym membership that's 24 hours, and even if you don't have a membership, if you could just get to the lot of the gym, that would be very helpful for you when you're traveling and you just need somewhere quick to like pull over and park. Anywhere that's a 24 hours establishment should be a good choice for you.
Definitely. And I would say, I mean, if you're planning to do this, if let's say it's not just like oh, I'm just gonna be here for one night, I need somewhere to sleep really quickly. If you're trying to create like a list of places that are on your list of places to stay, before you stay there the night, I would just kind of sit out there and just kind of do a watch of kind of what goes on in the area, because a lot of times I've gone to the gym at like the crack of dawn and I've seen a cop like parked in the parking lot, like looking around to see if anybody's actually sleeping in the cars. It's not going to be at every gym or
Mhm.
every, but if you're at a gym where they know that that's already happening and that people are doing that, then they might be a little bit more keen to knock on your door. So I would just do some surveillance, and you can learn a lot about like the area and what places the cops are going to and what places have other RVs or other trailers and no one's bothering them, and then kind of create your list from there.
Yeah, I would definitely say scope out any location before you just pull up and park. Like
Yeah.
drive around a couple times, just to
Yep.
be good. But I would definitely say in an emergency situation, if you can make it to a Walmart, you
Yeah,
should.
just for it. But if you have the time, it's definitely worth it to check around, scope it out, go on different days, go at different times to see what's going on there, see if you feel safe, you know?
Because different times of night too, like there could be a location that you're like, okay, I love parking here during the day, but at night I need to move somewhere else because it's not the best. So you can kind of build your map of places you park based off of how comfortable you feel. And I wouldn't completely just X a place off the list because a certain time of day it's not that great, because you can still use that for a different time of the day. Yeah.
Right. There are places that I park where I know, like, okay, this place is good from Monday through Thursday, but as soon as the weekend rolls around, like, I got to get out of here because it gets too crazy.
I feel you on that. Well, we got Vinny cuz in the
Shout
chat.
out to me.
Y'all go follow Vinny if you need those Uber tips for real.
Yep. Follow Vinny's page, follow the Rideshare Garage. Cheers to you, Vinny. This one's for you.
Kareem Henderson says that the Trucker Path is a free app to identify truck stops and their amenities. That's a really good tip. That's some good information. I might need to go ahead and download that app just to see what's on there. But there's so many resources and things like for truckers out there that we don't even know about, because if you're not a trucker, but it could be
Yeah,
helpful if we even aren't truckers.
for sure.
Let's see. I think we're pretty good there. Yeah, so what are we on? We're on number four. The number four tip, which I believe is your turn, Key.
Number 4, so that would be apartments that either have street parking or parking lot parking where you can park in the guest spots. I've really thought about doing this, but I just don't have the cojones. Like, I'm just like, I don't. I've seen some really good spots that are, some places, some apartments are still under construction, but they have the parking lots already, the parking spaces already mapped out. So I'm like, ooh, this would be a good one to just like slide up in there. No one's gonna know. I'm just gonna have to worry about the hard hats at 6 a.m., but that's fine, like that's none of their business that I'm sitting out there. And another thing is in the parking lots and some of the apartment parking lots, I do Uber Eats. So a lot of the times I get the gate code. So I so I
Like,
a lot I have debated, like, I don't feel like driving all the way back. Like, this guest parking lot is free, like,
my ethics,
yeah.
my sleep. That's
And I've debated, like, I'm just gonna chill here. Like, I already got the gate code. One time I got real bold, and not only did I get the gate code, but as I was driving out from doing the delivery, they had a car wash, like, free, that you could just go in, park your car in the garage, and like hose down your car and like soap it down. Sure did use it. Sure did do it. And
not
drove out.
fair. That's
Sure did.
I'm not even gonna lie. When I first started my whole like car life journey, which was last year, in September, that's what I was originally doing. Luckily, I knew someone who lived in the apartment complex that I was in, but I would literally just pull up in the apartment complex, park near their apartment, and I would just be in the car. And then they're
No.
like, bathroom, you can come in really quick. And it was okay until like, I feel like the leasing office or some start noticing like,
Yeah.
what are all
Yep. Maintenance guys in their uniforms.
yeah,
Some
and you
of
want to
the
run your plate, see if you're in the
yeah,
system, all type of stuff. So you really just gotta move around. I think apartments is a great one. You just can't get so comfortable that you're like, oh, I can park here all the time. Nobody cares. I'm like, somebody is looking out their window like, have you
yeah.
noticed cars always here and they don't live?
Yeah.
Like, what is going
Yeah.
on?
That's the thing with apartments is that people live there. So they have a routine. They're used to the cars that are supposed to be there. Even when we lived in apartments, like
Like,
we knew the cars that were supposed to be there and the cars that weren't. We knew when our neighbors had guests over and if people were parking in our spots, like things like that. So you got to be
out.
careful.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Also because, like you said, you thought about using like some gate codes or whatever, but there's a lot of communities that aren't gated.
Mhm.
Be careful. That's all I'm saying. If
Yeah.
it's you don't know someone there, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. And if it's kind of a situation where you're like, I just need somewhere to park, try to go towards places that are lighted or on like main roads, or like keep your car close to like the front or the leasing office or something. Like, make it through the night and then get out of there early the next morning if you have to. Like, I know everybody has to do what they have to do, but you just got to be smart about these decisions, especially when parking. And
You don't want to wake up at 4
snitch
in
on
the
you. I have some Karens who are like, "There's a car out here
morning.
and I'm scared for
Exactly.
my life," and it's like, girl, I'm just
And
leaving
you
it
don't
at
wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning hearing the tow guy putting your car on a jack. Like that's my biggest fear is being in the car when my car is getting jacked up and towed away because I'm not supposed to be there. Like
that. It's like on top of your car, like, no,
yes, like, not take or me just opening the back door like, sir, please take me off.
I live here, sir. That Yeah, that would be a nightmare. Mine honestly would be basically waking up with the police knocking on my window. I really don't want to deal with that. Like, I don't even want to have the conversation.
I'll take the cop over the tow man. One time I was sleeping at a hotel and a tow truck pulled up, girl. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. Panicked. I was panicked. I was like, damn, I've been outed. They know. I thought my Jersey plates were gonna keep me cool, but it's too I probably came here too much. He literally came, parked, argued with somebody on the phone, got back in the car and left. Girl.
A lot of
uh,
times, honestly,
these
they don't even be worried about us. I
no,
because we're the
yeah.
alternative life.
You're
Like,
worried than the people are about you. I've noticed that with car life. Yeah.
and half the time, you got people who don't even live in their car and just be in the car. Like,
Hmm.
they just enjoy being in the car, sitting in the car. They get on the phone in the car. They smoke in the car.
Yeah.
Like being in the
Yeah.
car.
There's one hotel that I go to, and there's a lady that pulls up at least 3 times a week just to come. She comes, she pulls up, she smokes a cigarette, stays in her car for like 30 minutes, and leaves and goes, I'm guessing, to work. But that's her routine, like that's what she does. Nobody cares, nobody bothers her.
Who's to say
Uh,
that lady? Like, we
yeah,
can.
I'm her. I
Uh, Let me see.
let's go to the
Dell said, "I'm a trucker. Stay away from truck stops." Should we stay away from you as well? Like, let us know.
yeah. Tell us why.
Let us
Tell
know.
us why.
Okay.
And Dre's game. Agreed with that.
Merry Christmas, ladies. Merry Christmas to you too.
Hey, Terry.
Nomad Man says, that reminds me, I spent the night in the parking lot at a resort and I walked into the pool area and they asked, do you need a towel, bottle of water? Yeah, sure, LOL. That's what I'm saying. Just get like everyone else gives. They don't have to know that you just in the car.
I have hated walking in and getting the continental breakfast, honey.
No, you didn't walk in breakfast. I'm jealous. Because I
I've
way. I was like in Ohio and it's freezing cold and I'm in my car and I just checked out of my like I think it's my I had a motel at the time and I
Mhm.
out and I'm sitting in the car and I'm like I got a few hours before I need to get on the road or something and I'm like starving and I'm like why didn't I just go in there and like get some food, but I was like, well,
Should
here anymore, so I felt bad. I was like, I checked out already, I don't live here, I should have went there and got some breakfast.
have went right in. They were in the question. Do you teenagers that are manning the front desk anyways? What are they gonna say to you? Nothing. A lot of them are just tick-tocking away. They're not paying attention to you.
I won't even go into how I got into a full-fledged argument with the teenager at the front desk. I'm
Oh
ashamed.
my
I was incompetent. Who who hired you? But you know what? Everybody's. I'm
Or
not.
like you ask for their manager and like an 18-year-old walks out and you're like, really? Really?
I think I asked for a manager. They put me on the phone with the manager. The manager wasn't even there. He was at the house and living his best life. He was like,
Mm.
"How can I help you?" I'm like, I can't get into my room. Incompetent 17-year-old right now. Like, what's going on? Like, anywho, let's move on to number 5, which is hotels. So hotels already have a lot of parking lots and parking spaces. Depending on like how fancy of one you're going to, typically you can slide in there without anybody caring or noticing or having to pay for parking. So hotels are really good because again, it's a location where people are known to come and go. They expect you to come and go. A lot of times they're well lit. A lot of times you may have access to the inside, maybe a lobby area with a bathroom.
Maybe.
Maybe, right? If you get lucky. But at the least you can find a parking spot to make it through the night and hopefully not have to pay if you choose the right hotel. And I would even extend this to motels because a lot of people sleep on them. Depending on the area, like not all motels are bad. Like it just really depends on your area. You can easily pull up at a motel, park in the parking lot, and I promise you they would not care or say anything.
Nope.
They would not care.
You can always be a guest of a guest. Like that's how I go into. I'm a guest of a guest. So as long and check around the hotels because especially the ones I think by the beach, like a lot of the hotels they have you put like a guest pass or something in your car. You don't have that, then yeah, you're gonna get outed quickly. So just do
Yeah.
a scan and make sure that there is no parking passes or anything like that in the windows of cars before you go there. Check out the area before you go there, make sure you feel safe. um I think that's about it for hotels, and I would rotate them. Don't just sleep at the same hotel every single day. Like have a list of hotels that you sleep at, rotate them out. Sleep on for nights.
They will scout you out.
Yes, they will. They will. They will take your plate down. Yep. So definitely scout them out. And like hotels was one of the places I was staying where there are some hotels that Monday through Thursday they're good, but once that weekend comes,
You got
every coming to that hotel and it's loud. People are parking, blasting their music. It's not peaceful. So sometimes the ones closer, as you get closer to the city, I've noticed Monday through Thursday, you're basically fine. But towards the weekend, everybody's coming in and out of that hotel and it's hard to sleep. So I head further out of the city, like further into like the countryside, and you can sleep perfectly fine there. Find a business like where people are coming in, leave find those hotels where people are leaving in like suits and like dress wear and stuff because those tend to be the nicer ones where you have like a business class of people staying in the hotel, not like a vacationy, like rowdy group of people staying at the hotel.
Yeah, and I'm definitely glad you mentioned the whole parking pass thing because I noticed that even where I'm staying now, they like hand filled out a parking pass with information and had me display it in my window, in the parking garage. And I noticed when I went in the garage, I was like, not everyone has one of these tickets, so they're
Mhm.
or there's a group of people who maybe they have a scanner, like I don't know, like they live here because they have timeshares here or condominiums here or something like that. Maybe they're not required to have that type of pass, but if you're a visitor and you're just bringing your car in and they don't have record of your car, they're definitely going to flag you. So just make sure that you're doing your roundabouts and being aware. If you're looking around and you notice a few cars have parking passes, it doesn't matter if like 10 of them did it. If a few of them do, I probably would consider going somewhere else.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
What's one here? I think I have airports next. Do you have that next?
mm, yes, we have airports next.
Okay, so yeah, the next one would be like airports. So I guess the next set, so what we just named was kind of the places that you can park for free, like you really won't have to worry about paying. But this next set is places that you may or may not have to pay for parking. So airports would be a place where you could probably park in there and no one would bother you, but you're gonna have to pay to get in.
Yeah.
And you can leave your car there as long as you want. I mean, once you leave, you're gonna have to pay whatever the fee is for how many days you stayed there. But I would say in a pinch, if you really had nowhere to go, you had a couple of dollars, I would try the airport if you were near one.
I would argue that what probably at the most like $20 a day.
Yeah.
Not
So
somewhere I would want to stay long term, you know. But if you're willing to throw a 20 on it, you have access to safe, secure parking. You have access to the airport where you can go to the bathroom. You can go to the restaurant probably. Um,
mhm.
Do you I don't do you have to go to security to go to the restaurants? I don't know. I think some airports like they have a few places outside before you go through security that you can probably access. Do you know anything about that?
From what I've seen, I thought you had to go through all of the security checks before you were able to get to the food, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one either, but I know at the least you'll have access to the bathrooms and a few shopping centers. Like, I don't know. I guess it just depends what airport you're in, but I've been in ones where you walk into the airport before you even get your like boarding pass or like try to check in or anything. They have like kind of like gift shops almost,
Yeah.
gift shops and bathroom areas. They even have benches and rest areas where you can come inside and chill. I've seen people sleeping on the floor at the airport. Like that is the number one place that you can literally sleep at and no one will say anything to you. Like
Not a
not gonna think anything about it if you just pass out in the chair really quick. But if you're living in your car, you may not even need or feel the need to go into the airport, but just knowing that you could go in there are a few benefits to it.
Yeah, you can always park your car in the garage and be like, "Yep, my flight got delayed." Like you could say something like that, and what are they gonna say? Okay, don't stay here. Like your flight got delayed. Where are you gonna go?
Yeah, they probably honestly wouldn't say anything.
No, no. I
Yeah,
think it'll be.
why are you parked here? It's gonna be like, what? Why is everybody else parked here? There's thousands of parked here. Like,
I don't think it'd be a big deal. I would definitely put it on your like emergency list of places. I put airports.
especially if you want to be low key too. You want to go hide at the airport, like
Hmm. Hmm.
ultimate
And
stealth.
there's not gonna be all you're gonna hear is people rolling their luggage in and out of their cars, just like a parking garage, like the
Uh,
hotel.
I hear that already. So
Exactly, it's the same as the hotel, so
Vinny Cuss says he slept a few times at the rest stops when driving very long distances. Yeah, I think the rest stops are best when on the road going long distances. If you're just trying to find somewhere to park quickly, like in the city or something, I think, the airport or, the hospital or the apartments, those are the type of options that those people are probably going to be considering because they're like more within the city limits. And I know especially if you're like driving or working and you're tired, like when you live in your car, like when you get tired, you're ready to chill. And it's very important where you're parked at because it's like I can't chill if I'm not parked somewhere where I can actually chill and not
yeah,
be worried about my
it's
surroundings.
loud, it's not noisy.
Mm.
Def
Thank you, Barry Garrett. Said you ladies are pretty smart about parking in different places.
Thank you. Trying here.
So after airports, sorry, I'm so slow looking at my list.
You're
We
good.
have private property slash campsites. So this one is my favorite one because it's currently my parking preference. If you know someone who has private property that you can park on, for example, a driveway, a backyard, um, that would be like my recommendation because I always feel like people need to work together. And this, I'm trying to save money. That's why I'm living this lifestyle. So it's like I'm gonna continue to try to save money as I go along. So I'm gonna recommend things that can probably save you money. If you know somebody, maybe you're not capitalizing on your resources, your human resources. I think a lot of us
Mhm.
know a lot more people than we tend to let on. Like, oh, what I'm gonna do? I can't do that. I'm like, you may know someone who might be willing to help you. And if you can find someone who has private property and willing to let you park there, that would be like a really good thing to do. Even if they charge a fee, a monthly fee or something, you know that you have somewhere to park safe that's on private property that more than likely is going to be protected by whoever owns that property. And then to extend that even more, we added on campsites because there's a lot of people who are, for example, on Airbnb renting out their backyard campsite space. Which goes back into the private property or a private space. If you can find someone renting out campsite space, find someone renting out garage space, renting out driveway space. Um, the last two, you probably have to do a little bit more word of mouth, but definitely in regards to campsites, there are a ton of people renting out campsite spaces privately for as low as like $20 a day, probably.
Yeah, I saw one for 17 on Airbnb, $17, and it wasn't like a property on their property. Like I'm assuming that these people just bought land somewhere and were like, how are we gonna make some money off of this? And they put some sticks like with some rocks in a circle and was like, campsite, who wants to come?
Chair. We'll put a couple
Yeah,
blocks and we'll put
no,
like
no chairs even. It was just grass. It was just grass and a fire pit and called it a campsite for $17. Zero cleaning fee. I would have been upset if it had a cleaning fee
what
for
are the grass.
but exactly.
But yeah, I
So
think really sleep on those options. I'm like, even if it's not Airbnb, if that's not your go-to, app to use, there are a lot of booking apps you can use, and people are literally renting out spaces that simple where you can just pull up and have somewhere safe to be. You pay a little fee, but heck, if you're not paying rent, I can't really debate about a 15, $20.
no, no, it will always that option will always be cheaper than rent.
Exactly.
So worth a try, especially if it's sometimes these campsites are in really good areas, like actual campgrounds. So if you want to have like a little camping experience, don't want to be around a lot of people though, and kind of have like a little space, a little piece of nature to yourself, I definitely would recommend it, even just to try out. Maybe not as a for sure option, but just to like try something out, try something different, get into nature,
Yeah.
or like the hotels, like I've debated sometimes, like I'm just gonna go and pay the $17 because it's just too noisy here on the weekends. Like I can't get any sleep. So it's a good option.
Yeah, I feel you on that. The noise level. Even if it was something that you're like, okay, well, on the weekends, I'm going to go out and book a campsite. During the week, I'll just thug it out in the car at different locations. But when you get that campsite, it just widens your options. Obviously, you can definitely just car camp because that's basically what we do. But if you're someone like me, I'm actually into actual full fledged camping. I have I have chairs and stuff like that, so you can kind of make it your own little hangout area and like really get into it and enjoy it if you're kind of about that life. But otherwise, you just have somewhere safe to stay and sleep and park your car. And there's a record. There's a owner who is renting out the listing or whatever that you can get in touch with if there's any problems. So I think that's something that is really a plus if you're willing to spend that 15, $20 a night for the campsite. We got anybody in the chat? Let me see. Not at the moment, so let's just keep on with our list.
Right.
We're on, let me see, number 8, and I think that's you. Just,
The hospital. Is that what you have?
yeah.
Okay. So yeah, the hospital, this is gonna be another good option. I would say almost like the airport, like probably not your first option, but if you needed to be somewhere in a pinch and just needed to get some rest, people are sleeping in the hospital parking lot. They may have to pay to get in, but people are having babies, people are getting surgery, like people and their relatives, their family, their friends. Sometimes they can't, especially during COVID and stuff, they couldn't go inside. So people were sleeping in their cars. So I definitely recommend the hospital option. They may have security coming and looking around, but I've gone to like hospitals in Georgia and I've seen RVs. I've seen the vans. Like I've seen them in those lots. Like those people still have to get treated too. So it's nothing for those cars to be there. So if you find like a group of RVs or vans or something in a hotel parking lot, I would say that would be on my list of going to sleeping there over the night. Even if they do have you pay a small fee to park there, I would say in a pinch, worth it. And you know it's safe. There's cameras everywhere. There's security. There's cops. They probably won't be bothering anybody in the cars. So I would
That's
definitely.
what I was gonna say. They're security, but they're not really concerned about people in the cars because they see people in the cars sleeping, waiting to go inside to visit their relatives or whatever. So yeah, the hospital is one that it could get a little loud. I don't. That's like the only con that I can see to it is that you do have a lot of traffic in and out of the hospital on a regular basis, which could be similar to like a hotel. Um,
But sirens, you got to think by the ER, the sirens. You're gonna
oh
have this that
yeah,
ambulance siren
sirens. Yeah.
out. Yeah.
So you might have to deal with that, and you might be able to get over that because I've had apartments where I hear sirens coming up and down the street. But if people were just being like loud and rowdy, that might be harder for me to ignore while I'm trying to sleep. Versus like, oh, another siren, I can kind of just like tune it out maybe because it
Hmm.
doesn't have anything to do with me.
Yeah, my apartment that I had before this was right across the street from the police station. That was also the fire department and also the EMS. So I was like, it's background noise. Like, yeah, all night long,
That's basically
all night.
a lullaby to sleep. It's like I can't
Yeah,
sleep here. The siren.
yes. I didn't hear it. I thought something was wrong.
Hmm.
It was that bad.
Let's see. We got R&T Specialized says at a car dealership overnight. We're gonna put a pinch in that one because
Yeah, are you reading our list, RNT
really
specialist?
pause that one because we have a special section for that one. Barry Garrett says I worked in a hospital for 18 years and the fee is $7 a day. So yeah, that's even better. Like a lot of times us car lifers are like, what, it's 20, 15, I don't know, but I'm like, sometimes it's not even as expensive as you think it is, especially during different times of day and different days of the week. So if you can really like get you a schedule down pack or like a rotation going where you're like, I know I can park at the hospitals on these days, it's only $7. And then I know on the weekend I might go get me a campsite really quick. And then I know a couple other days in the week, maybe I can park at this Walmart or this apartment complex or something like that. Like living in car life, you really have to be flexible. There's not really any one thing that you need to just do to do this lifestyle correctly. Like there's like 100,000 different ways you can live this lifestyle, including where you can literally park your car at.
For sure.
Let's see. Music Fitness says emergency parking lot is perfect as well. Constant flow of traffic. So yeah, the hospital emergency lot. Only down to that, like we mentioned, was probably like the sirens and the sounds, but you can get over that. You should be good. And let me see. Let me show this comment. I can't pronounce your name. I'm sorry. Kralani one says UPS at 1101 Fulton Industrial. I think we spoke. I don't know. I think it was you. It could have been somebody else. But yeah, they mentioned the UPS, and as long as you have a valid ID, you can get in. That's something that somebody's gonna have to try and show me that it works, and then I'll probably do it. But I've heard of UPS. What was the other place? I think it was Amazon location.
Yeah.
Like you can pull up and park, and nobody's pretty much gonna really bother you. They're just gonna think like you work there or something. So
Yeah.
I
Just
appreciate.
drive in with like a reflector vest on, you'll be fine.
I know I have my reflector vest from Halloween. Anybody know? I dressed up children for Halloween. Wait, can I keep that vest? Oh my god, I think I threw it away. Because
Get you.
I was like, when am I ever gonna wear this vest again? And I think I just threw it out. But anywho, I'm gonna get me another vest, and we about to pull up on UPS.
Yeah, or go to the hospital and wear scrubs.
Yeah, you spoke. Thanks for the follow back on IG. Tell me how to pronounce your YouTube name though, so that when you come on here, I can say it correctly. Because I'd be like, I can barely read as it is. Clinny, Clinny one, Clinny one.
I'm. I don't even. CRLINY one.
We'll wait for. I think he's gonna tell us how. But
Something.
say for the people who are in here watching, I think we got at least 24 people in here. If you guys are enjoying, make sure you hit that like button. It seems like you guys probably already did, but if you did, make sure you do it. Appreciate it. Let's Go Look says y'all probably covered highway rest areas earlier, but y'all. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Merry Christmas to you as well. We definitely covered rest stops and highway areas. That was actually our first one. That one is like the go-to, very important. I don't think we necessarily put these in any specific order of importance, but I think it is interesting how that was the first one because I do think rest stops, those are the original, like OG place for car lifers, van lifers, truck lifers, all that stuff. So,
Just travel in general. Yeah.
oh, okay. So it says CR is my initials. Long Island, New York. Okay, cool. Okay,
And York.
so now I'm gonna say CRLINY instead of trying to like say it like it's one word.
Going me.
got you going forward. Watch the next live. He gonna pop up and I'm gonna be like, I don't know how to say this. Hope I get it together. But thanks, love. Barry Garrett says the sirens have to be turned off a block before the hospital.
That's good. Good to know, Barry.
Gyms, man. I didn't know nothing about that. Really? Is that for every state? Is it different? Because I feel like in Georgia they just be having
Yeah.
one like
Yeah. I feel like in Jersey they were just they didn't care. Like
it could be
get
different.
out the way, the sirens were on.
Oh, our buddy, me, myself, and my car is in here. Says sorry, I had to drive back to the mall. I ordered fries and gravy, but she forgot the gravy.
Yeah, one job.
Oh no! I'm sending 8 days. Oh, I'm spending 8 days right now at the lake. $12 a night. Nobody's here. That's
Nice.
good. $12 a night. That is not bad. And you get
Nice. Nice.
lake view, nature view.
Like kind of what we were talking about, like those public campsites, campgrounds where you can pay a little bit, but place to himself. Like that's the dream.
Cook a steak or something. Hang out.
Yeah.
See, I think we're almost through our list, guys. I think we only have two other locations. The next one is public campgrounds, national and state parks. So I think is this one yours to cover or mine? I don't know.
Um, I'm not sure, but whoever wants it, you want me to go? I can do it. Okay. So public campgrounds and state and national parks. So a lot of state parks or national parks, they have overnight camping available where you can go to like the help desk or the like a tourist desk area and you can pay to park and actually camp out, kind of like how Bria was saying, like with tents and fires, and you can have like a little like private camp area to yourself that's within the park. So once again, you might have to pay for that, but it's an option, like you'll be out in nature, you'll be able to have something private to yourself, and it just might be another place to put on your list, especially if you're close to a state park. Um, you can, I think somebody just said you can cook a steak. Yeah, you can have dinner out there. You can, if they have a lake, you can go into the lake. There's a lot of options. You can go hiking, you can go on the trails, you can go kayaking if there's a lake,
Probably.
swimming, all types of things. So if you're a person that likes to be out in nature and you live in an area that has fairly good weather most of the time, I would put campgrounds, public and state national parks with camping options on your list for sure. For sure, for sure.
one, because not only do you get like the whole camp vibe, which might be slightly a little bit more expensive, not much, but just because it is a national park, they need their money to keep the parks going. So I've typically seen prices around like as low as 25 up to like maybe $60 a night when it comes to national parks. Again, depending on what park you're at, how big your site is. But it is a two-in-one because it's not just somewhere for you to park your car safely. It's also the whole nature aspect of it, like being at a national park. A lot of car dwellers that we see on YouTube especially are parked at national parks and giving you those beautiful nature views and those,
Mhm.
because they are at campsites at national parks. Granted, you can camp in the city, you can backyard camp, you can tent camp, you can camp more locally. But if you really want that like nature outdoorsy aspect of it, that's when you want to really hit up your national parks and rent a campsite through their website, like the state website.
For sure. And the pricing also depends on time of year too. Like when
Yeah,
it's tourist season, that's when I think you'd see those prices being like 50, $60. I've heard of people booking like some of our national parks get booked up so quickly that they'll have to actually book like a year in advance just to get a spot. Because of all the RVs and the families that are going to these campsites, especially during the summer. But if you're going in the off season, the
yeah,
prices should be down, and you should be able to still enjoy most of the parts of the park.
yeah. Like for example, if you wanted to go to a park for spring break, that's something you need to be looking into like now, because families who are planning for their spring break trips with their family of eight, or whatever, and they're going to those campsite locations. So you got to keep it in mind, booking ahead of time. Depending on when you go, this time of year, when it's super cold or when it's super duper hot, I tend to notice those are the times when people don't really want to camp, because the typical idea of camping is in a tent. So when it's super hot, you're gonna be miserable. When it's super cold, you're gonna be frozen. So typically those like spring and fall time of years is when I see the national parks super booked up. And then like she said, the price might drop down a little in other times of year. But also be mindful that there are some parks that are not open during certain times of year. So you just gotta make sure you're checking the state website and making sure you got your dates and everything lined up. Usually they have a year calendar on there, which will show you like which dates have been reserved and things like that. So they're definitely really like professional with it and providing the information when it comes to the state parks. Yeah, just something you might want to look into a little ahead of time if you want to hop in on like a busy season or whatever.
For sure. For sure, for sure.
Let's see. Barry Gary have a quiet zone in Pennsylvania hospitals for sirens. Okay, yeah, I figured it might just depend on where you're located at, but I can imagine that. Rudolph Nelson says RV parks, but you have to pay for them. Yes, so that's similar to the campsites or the national parks. Um, Guys, we just have to accept the fact that ain't nothing in life free. Like you're gonna have to pay for something. If you ain't paying,
No,
you're gonna pay for. So like we can't be penny pinching. Sometimes we gonna have to pay, but there are so many unpaid free options of ways to sleep in your car and locations. It's just if you want to get that little extra benefit of like outdoors or nature scene, all that, like be willing to pay for it because you're gonna benefit from it. You're
you
gonna
have to remember not paying rent. Have the money to do that. You know, you're not putting all your money into an apartment. So you have the money to go and experience nature, experience a campsite, or do what we're doing, experience an Airbnb. Like, it doesn't mean you have to be, this is technically an option. I don't even know why we didn't think to put this
yeah,
on the list. Like, you
yeah,
can get an
rent
Airbnb.
an
You
Airbnb. Park
get Airbnb,
stuff.
you have an option. It could be wherever. It could be on a horse ranch. It could be on the beach. Like, that's still technically an option for a night. And you have the money. You can splurge. You can get a nice room. You can get a full house. Like, whatever you want to do, you now have that money to put into an experience that you can remember forever.
Like I definitely believe with this list, like we've given a wide range of like if you don't want to pay nothing, depending on your circumstances, if you can't afford or you just don't want to, plenty of options there. If you are on the other end where you're like, hey, I'm willing to pay a little bit, we put a few options in there too, like the campsites and things like that. So it really just depends on what spectrum of the car life situation you are on. I respect all aspects of it, but of course, there's going to be some people who just hardcore sleeping in the car at different locations every night, trying not to pay any money. And then you're going to have people who are sleeping in the car and possibly booking Airbnbs or booking campsites and doing things of that nature. So we definitely want to provide information to everybody. And I think we have one more on this list, which was the last one, which is I put mechanic shop, but somebody in the chat, I can't remember who it is. Let me go back and look. R&T Specialized says car dealerships. So I feel like those kind of go hand in hand. And reason being is I was like, why not park somewhere where cars are expected to be parked?
It's a good option.
Yeah, it's like a no-brainer almost. It's like, let me just park where no one's gonna think twice about my car being parked here. Now, there's hours of operation at different and Josh, that might need to get up out of there at the crack of dawn before the workers start showing up and being like, hold on, who's
Is
working on
it? Yeah, yeah.
now? So you gotta think about that. But car dealerships, I mean, it would have to be the dealership of the car that you own, I'm assuming.
Right. And a lot of dealerships, I've thought about it and I've driven around, but I've seen that the dealerships sometimes will have a gate and it's closed.
Yeah, they'll close it off.
Can't even go in there if you wanted to. And I would say with the car mechanic shops, once again, you want to scope these places out. Like one day, this was in my mind to go and sleep at a mechanic shop. And one day I was at Zaxby's just eating my salad. And across the street from the Zaxby's was a Mavis, like a Mavis tire and brake shop. And it had cars in the parking lot. And there was a cop going around at 10 o'clock at night with a flashlight looking through all of the windows in the car. And that's when mechanic shop went right out of my head, especially that one, because I was like, ugh, he would
Yeah.
have been in surprise had I been sitting there. Like that wouldn't have looked good. So once again, just scope it out. I just so happened to be sitting there, just minding my business and saw it happen. But
Mm-hmm.
you're about going to a dealership, I would probably say like scope it out a couple of days that you were thinking, see what's going on there at like 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night. And if the coast seems to be clear and you go back at different times and see, okay, if when I be sleeping here, nobody would bother me, then go ahead and also scope out when the guys are coming in for work. Like if you see them showing up at 6 o'clock in the morning, you got to be out at 5. You see that they're people are strolling in at 7. Okay, you have until about 6:15 to get your butt out of there. So definitely with the mechanic shops, scope that out for sure. Scope that out.
A little bit harder just because they might have better security. But of course, it always depends on what area you're in. And like he said, make sure you're doing your due diligence and scoping out the place. But I think there's definitely some areas where you can park at a mechanic shop and get out of there early enough. And I don't think anyone would think twice about it. If you're willing to kind of push yourself even a little bit more, which I really feel like in this lifestyle, people have to, and you'll see other options open up, opportunities open up. But I'm like, what if you were at that shop and you scoped out when the workers came in and you made a relationship with them and were like, hey, I'm gonna be parked out here. Is it okay? Like, can you guys have my back? Or like, is there anything that I could do that you guys would say, hey, it's cool, you can park here, we'll look out for you, no one's gonna bother you. Like
Exactly.
stations that need to be had, somebody's gotta start them, but yeah.
And I go to the same ever since I started this car life. I've been going to the same mechanic shop that I found in Georgia, so they know my whole situation. They know my story. My car has been taken overnight. They've got me hotel rooms, like
Yeah.
and take me there and taking me right back. Like there are really really nice people in this world. So I know if I went to them and I told them my story and I was like, hey, I have nowhere to park. Like, can I park here overnight? It would be no problem there because I made that relationship.
And you could have literally been stressed out all day, like, I don't know where I'm gonna park, man, it's a bad situation. All you had to do was open your mouth. And
Exactly.
somebody like I said, there's a lot of kind people out there who are willing to help. So even going back to where I was saying, if you know someone who would allow you to park in their driveway or park in their backyard or something, like just open your mouth. Might actually be like, yeah, actually, that's a great idea, or yeah, that wouldn't bother me at all. Um,
Exactly.
a lot of
Or
times people feel like they're
that's
helping.
yeah, like some people have businesses that are closed. And I know like in my area, like my mom had a good relationship with our church pastor that was right down the street. So if we ever needed to park a car there, we couldn't park it on the street, or somebody just needed to use the lot for some instance, he was more than willing to be like, yeah, park in the church parking lot, do whatever you have to do. Like no one's gonna bother you. So those relationships with people for sure.
Hey y'all. This has definitely been a good convo. Like, I'm glad that we did the whole poll because I really was interested to see like what do people want us to talk about.
Yeah.
Know that this topic has, if you're a YouTuber, obviously you are. Anybody who's a YouTuber knows that it pops up constantly, like living in your car, where to sleep, living in your car, where to sleep. Even our favorite YouTuber, Tim Ward, said
Word.
his main video that has been doing the best, got over 1 million views or something like that, was his video about location
Places.
living in your
Yeah.
car. There are so many people out there who want this information, who are searching for it. It's going through the algorithm. So I'm not actually surprised that people voted for this topic. But I think that we did give a good 10. I know there's so many more. Like if we wanted to really like go hard, we could probably come up with another 10. You know?
Right. Right. But I think these 10 are like the safest, like how we had said, the most reliable. Some of them can get a little dicey and require a little bit more scoping out, but a majority of these you really don't have to scope out, like especially some of the hotels, like if it's not by the beach, you don't have to scope that out, like if it's a nice area, you're basically fine. Just be mindful of where you're parking your car and look for the signs too. Like I don't think we even talked about that. Look for the signs. Like even at Walmart, they have signs at some of them saying no overnight parking. So just be mindful of it. They may not enforce it, but just be mindful that they are there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I've got. What about you?
Um, I would just say overall, just be flexible. Be flexible. You could go somewhere and be like, yeah, well, this isn't gonna work. Let me move somewhere else. I
Hmm.
living in a home or an apartment or whatever standard traditional living makes us very comfortable because you literally know where you're going to be at for like a year on end sometimes. When you're living in your car, you have to be flexible because it could be like, well, tonight I was at the Walmart and it was great, but 2 days later, the next week, that's not a good option anymore. So you have to just be able to move and not feel like it's the end of the world and be able to be scrappy a little bit and kind of be like, okay, well, that didn't work out. Let me look at my list of 10 different places that I could possibly go and pick something else and see if that possibly works out. Yeah, just don't get too comfortable sitting at any one place. Try and, be flexible and move around in different places. So that's my main advice to people.
Yeah, and I would say don't be scared of the knock. Like I used to be really scared of it. I've never gotten the knock, but I used to be really scared of like, oh my god, what if the cop knocks on my door? What am I gonna do? But it's just you go to the next place. It's not that big of a deal. All he's gonna say is you can't park here. You
Like, oh,
gotta leave.
I'm leaving.
Very yes.
Really all
And
bad.
then you just hurry on to your next place. Like make sure you have like a list of places. Like, okay, can't stay at the courtyard tonight. Off to the Holiday Inn. Like
Yeah,
it's not that big of a deal. Yeah.
good to say it. So y'all, let's check out if we got anybody else in the chat, and then I think we can go ahead and end this stream. And we are just over an hour, and I know everybody is probably trying to stay warm and or celebrating the holiday. So I appreciate everybody who's been in this chat to hang out with us. Make sure y'all hit that like button again, and don't forget to leave us a comment. We do love talking to y'all. I'm gonna leave the link for our Discord in the chat. If anybody is in here and wants to join our community, our chat server, we have some support groups. Hit the link. You may have to download the app, but yeah, once you download the app, you can join our chat group. I'm actually gonna put that in right now before I forget. And just so you guys know, the links do expire. So if you ever come back to one of the streams and you hit a Discord link and it doesn't pop up, just put a comment in there and I'll put a new link in. But I don't know how often they expire, but they do expire. So I'm putting that in here now for anybody who hasn't already joined our Discord and you want to get in there and talk to us. That's the link for you guys to get in. Let me see if I can pin this. Hold on. I pinned it, so hopefully you guys can see it there. But in the chat, let me see. Nomad Man said, get a yearly national park pass for $80. A lot of camping free after that. That's good. You could probably save a lot of money if you're into the campsites with the national.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. Me, myself, and my car said national is expensive, but yes, you get it all. You go in the winter because it's cheaper. So yeah, it just depends on your budget if you want to invest into that because it is an investment. But there's so many benefits to having a national pass. You got the extra money to throw in. Let me see. R&T Specialized said a lot of dealerships have used car sections. I wonder if those used car sections are gated though at night when they close. You know?
Yeah. When I'm driving around doing Uber, a lot of those car dealerships have the gate closed, chained up, locked. Yeah.
Okay. Nomad Man said RV parks disgusting to me. I've had my fill of them. To each his own, you know.
Yeah.
You may have gotten sick and there's somebody out there who hasn't even began to get enough of them, you know. So hopefully it works out for somebody. Barry Garrett said I got here late, but did you mention casinos? We did. We mentioned that in our 24-hour facilities list because a lot of casinos are 24 hours. Is that? I know Key put that one on the list. I've never parked at, but Key put
A
that
lot of those are 24 hours. My parents, they are residents of Atlantic City. They don't live there, but they go that much that they're always at the casinos in Atlantic City, New Jersey. They've done it. They've said, don't want to spend $80 a night, $100 a night. Let's just sleep in the casino parking lot. So, yeah, my parents have car camped before I was even thinking about it. And they said they got away with it. My parents have gone very far. They've actually like slept on the beach before, like
on.
crazy stuff. Like,
Down at
y-
like life. That's how I want to be.
yes, yes,
That's
is an option.
R&T Specialized said those signs at Walmart are for trucks, cars are fine. Are you referring to the signs that say no overnight parking? Or oh, so if you're in a regular car, you can park. They're probably not gonna bother you. But if you pull up in your big old truck, they're gonna be like, you got to get up out of here.
Yeah, yeah. I've heard, Chad from Minivan Venturing, he said he called and the lady actually said that Walmart doesn't own their parking lots. So the people in, yeah, that's what they said in Pennsylvania. The people in
Oh,
Walmart don't own the park.
who do I
That's
call?
that's owned by somebody else. So if they catch you, fine, but no one from Walmart is going to be out there like knocking on your door
Oh,
to see.
and like Walmart doesn't care. It's somebody else.
No.
Got
Yeah. Yep.
it. All right. Vinny Cuz said, great info. Thank you so much for supporting us, Vinny. Nomad Man said, nice one. I learned something. Yes, that is what these streams are for. I hope everybody can take something away from this. I learned a few things, even though me and Kiara are doing the stream together. Like, we were
Yeah.
discussing it before, and I was like, what? Oh, that's a good idea. So this is great, y'all. Me, myself, and my car said, what about in front of your ex's house? Um,
Nice.
cool with it. Like, if you guys, I don't know. I don't want it to be toxic, but if
I
y'all,
don't know.
it's
Depends.
a
It all depends on how it ended.
problem with it. All right, guys. Hey, Eric's Phoenix. We did mention hospital parking lots earlier in the stream. We went over a list of 10. We are getting ready to sign off, but before I go off, I will actually just go over that list briefly with you guys. I'll just like reread it off, and then we'll get up out of here. So, number one, you want to like go back and forth?
Yeah, we can go back and forth. Okay.
Number one was rest areas slash truck stops.
Number 2 was park and rides, where you have where there's like a train or a bus, and people are parked overnight waiting to get on public transportation.
Mm-hmm. Number three was 24-hour establishments like Walmarts, gyms, casinos.
Number 4 was apartments that either have street parking or guest parking.
Okay. Number five was hotels. Pretty straightforward with that one.
Yep. Number 6 was airport parking lots.
Number seven was private property like someone's driveway or garage, as well as campsites that are privately rented, like someone's backyard or land that they own.
And after that was the hospital parking, emergency parking.
And then number 9 was public campgrounds, which includes national state parks. A little bit more pricey. You can get a year pass, but yeah, you get that outdoorsy nature feel as well as the campsite feel.
And the last one was like a car dealership or a mechanic. Once again, scope that one out. I'm not co-signing that one. Scope that one out. After I saw that cop, I was like, oh no,
You
you
not
ain't catching me.
oh, my car got towed or I got like
Yeah,
we
yeah.
not vouching for that one 100%.
No,
I'm still
no.
waiting for somebody to prove to me that it's possible, but
Dicey. You know who I think did it? Mother Nature. I think she did
no,
that one time.
she's also arrest her. I love her to death, but I'm like, girl, I'm not doing all that.
Not doing all that. Not doing all that. She likes adventure, good or bad. Like,
Following and your views are equivalent to your effort. I am
yep.
all of that, but I love her and she sets a great example. That's why her little rap song, I'm like, that's our motto now. Car life motto now.
Yeah, I was watching her all before I started this life, and she made me just, oh, like, I just want to do this. She is just living her best life. She's always upbeat, in a good mood. Like,
She's like,
she's
I
really
her when
of it.
that like she's like, y'all, I'm getting arrested, y'all. My girlfriend's pulling up.
Mm.
Girlfriend pulls up on like a 4-wheeler. Like, hey, don't pull on us. Don't pull up on us. I was like, what life are y'all living right now? Like, I
What
just
on?
just a day in the life. But yeah, guys, thank you all so much for joining this Christmas live stream with us. Um,
Merry Christmas.
Learning about different places to park your car. And again, that link is in the chat. Hit that Discord link if y'all want to chat some more because I'm about to hop in there probably right after I get off this live and start talking to people.
Same, same.
And like button, y'all.
Hit it.
I'll be hitting that button sometimes.
Hit it. Hit
All
it.
right. Love you. Thanks.
All.
Super fun. I will see you in the Discord chat. And
We're out.
peace.
Bye, bye, bye.